Hi there, graders. Today I am going to read you our new story of the week. It's called Bat Loves the Night. Please go ahead and get your Journeys textbook and turn to page 209. Go ahead and pause this video until you have those materials. All right, so we're on page 209. We're going to preview the topic. The topic this week is about mammals. The many kinds of animals called mammals are different sizes and colors, and they live all over the world. They are all alike in a few important ways. All mammals are warm-blooded. This means that their bodies stay the same temperature in hot and cold climates. They have fur or hair, are vertebrates, which means they have a spine or a backbone. We all have a spine or a backbone. If you take your hand and you put it on your back, and in the middle of your back, all the way from your neck, all the way down, there is a hard bone that is called your spine or your backbone. That means we're a mammal. Mammals drink milk from their mothers. Mothers care for their babies for a while before they can live on their own. In Bat Loves the Night, you'll read about a mammal that flies, hunts at night, and uses its ears to find its way in the dark. By looking at the illustration, it's a picture, what do you think we're going to be reading about this week? I think we're going to be reading about bats. Bats are a mammal. All right, let's turn the page. We see the title page here called Bat Loves the Night by Nicola Davies, illustrated by Sarah Fox Davies. All right, so I'm starting on page 212. Please go ahead and follow along with me. Bat is waking up upside down as usual, hanging by her toenails. Her beady eyes open. Her pixie ears twitch. She shakes her thistledown fur. Twitch means that it's kind of moving. So if her ears are twitching, that means her ears are kind of moving really fast. She unfurls her wings, made of skin so fine the finger bones inside show through. And at the bottom here, this right here, that is, it's giving us a little piece of information about bats. It says the pipistrelle bat's body is no bigger than your thumb. Wow, so the body of a pipistrelle bat, which is a type of bat, is no bigger than your thumb. That's really, really small. Now she unhooks her toes and drops into black space. With a sound like a tiny umbrella opening, she flaps her wings. Bat is flying. At the bottom it says, a bat's wing is its arm and hand. 4 extra long fingers support the skin of the wing. Out! Out under the broken tile into the nighttime garden. Bats can see, but in the dark, good ears are more useful than eyes. Over bushes, under trees, between fence posts, through the tangled hedge, she swoops untouched. Bat is at home in the darkness, as a fish is in the water. She doesn't need to see. She can hear where she is going. So bats love the darkness. Bat shouts as she flies, louder than a hammer blow, higher than a squeak. She beams her voice around her like a flashlight, and the echoes come singing back. They carry a sound picture of all her voice has touched. Listening hard, Bat can hear every detail, the smallest twigs, the shape of leaves. At the bottom, the fact says, using sound to find your way like this is called echolocation. The noise bats make when they shout too high for humans to hear. Wow, so when bats communicate with each other by using echolocation, that's using sound to find their way. That's really interesting. Gliding and fluttering back and forth, She shouts her torch of sound among the trees, listening for her supper, and she is still. Then a fat moth takes flight below her. It says a bat can eat dozens of big moths in a single night, or thousands of tiny flies, gnats, and mosquitoes. Bat plunges fast as blinking and grabs it in her open mouth. But the moth's pearly scales are moon dust slippery. It slithers from between her teeth. I love all of the adjectives that the author is using. I can really picture it in my mind, and that's what I really love when I'm reading stories. Bat dives, nets it with a wingtip, scoops it into her mouth. This time she bites hard. Its wings fall away like the wrapper from a candy. Ooh, I can really picture that. I can picture a bat biting on a moth and then having the moth's wings fall out because, well, the moth dies because the bat is eating it. I can really picture that in my mind. Can you picture that? In a moment, the moth is eaten. Bat sneezes. The dusty scales got up her nose. Most species of bats eat insects, but there are some that eat fruit, fish, frogs, even blood. Hunting time has run out. The dark will soon be gone. In the east, the sky is getting light. It's past Bat's bedtime. The illustration really helps me to know this because this illustration here on page 220 and 221 really looks like an early morning. We call that dusk. That is when the sun, or dawn, sorry. That is when the sun, it's going down or it's coming up, I'm sorry. It's coming up and the day is going to start. So I really like this illustration. It really helps me to understand that the dark is soon going to be gone, just like they say in the story. Bats are nocturnal. That means they rest by day and come out at night to search for food. So if you are nocturnal, that means that you sleep during the daytime and at nighttime you're awake. So bats are nocturnal. I wonder what other kind of mammals are nocturnal. She flies to the roof in the last shadows and swoops in under the broken tile. The place where bats sleep in the day is called a roost. It can be in a building, a cave, or a tree, so long as it's dry and safe. Inside there are squeakings. 50 hungry batlings hang in a huddle, hooked to a rafter by oversized feet. Bat lands and pushes in among them, toes first, upside down again. Baby bats can't fly. Sometimes mother bats carry their babies when they go out, but mostly the babies stay behind in the roost and crowd together to keep warm. I wonder if any of you have ever had a bat live not in your house, but in your roof outside. I know I have before. Bat knows her baby's voice and calls to it. The velvet scrap batling climbs aboard and clings to Bat's fur by its coat hanger feet. Wrapped in her leathery wings, the baby snuggles to sleep. Baby bats drink mother's milk until they learn to fly at a few weeks old. Then they can leave the roost at night to find their own food. Outside, the birds are singing. The flowers turn their faces to the sun. But inside the roof hole, the darkness stays. Bat dozes with her batling, waiting. What do you think she's waiting for? When the tide of the night rises again, Bat will wake and plunge into the blackness, shouting. Bat loves the night. The end. That is such a nice story. It's kind of written almost like a poem a little bit. It's just very, very pleasant to read. It's very enjoyable because of all of the details in the story and just the way that it's written. I think it's really beautiful. It really helps me picture in my mind what bats do in the night, and especially this bat and her journey and adventures that she has in the night, and then she kind of calms down in the morning and she sleeps all day, and then she can't wait to go back out at night. So I think this is a really great story to read, especially around this time of year, because it is October now, which means Halloween is this month on October 31st. So I hope you enjoyed this story. That is all that we have for reading today. I would like for you to please go onto Seesaw and look at the flipped vocabulary, because that is the next thing I would like for you to do. But other than that, you have nothing else for reading today. Bye, guys.